Hi, sister. Can you talk right now? There's something very important I want to tell you.
Oh, if it isn't Marissa. I'm currently doing work while on a bullet train. Could you wait until later when I'm not busy?
No. I'm afraid I can't wait. What's with that reaction anyways? You sound almost as if you didn't want to see me. Anyways, this is something very important that has something to do with the future of the company, so it can't wait.
What? The future of the company? But Marissa, have you forgotten that you have nothing to do with the company's business? Could you please not talk about the company's future, at least until after you find a job and stop doing nothing at home all day?
Huh? It's fine if I don't have a job because I'm training to become a housewife. Unlike you, whose only merit is that you're willing to work all day, every day, I have a skill called femininity. Besides, I'm about to get married soon, and I won't have to work after that, right? I mean, seriously, Ida, why do you work so much all the time? Just get married and become a housewife or something.
Not everyone shares the same values as you, Marissa. Some people find meaning in their jobs beyond just having to work to earn money. Wait, hold on. You had a boyfriend? And you're already going to get married to him? How come you never came to our parents' house to ask for their permission?
You'll find out why soon enough. And of course I have a boyfriend, because unlike you, I'm not an old hag who became so busy with work that she forgot how to be a woman.
Well, I'll agree that I am pretty busy with work, but what do you mean I forgot how to be a woman? And I have a fiancé too, you know. If I start acting like a woman by your standards, then I'll soon be drowning in ribbons and lace and frills.
I mean, I was able to get married, but on the other side of the coin, you're not going to be able to get married anymore. Besides, are you sure that you have a fiancé?
Huh? What are you talking about?
What I'm trying to say is, me and Alberto are officially engaged now. That's what I wanted to tell you in the first place.
What? By Alberto, do you mean my fiancé, Alberto?
Can you think of any other Alberto? I mean, of course I mean your fiancé, Alberto.
Marissa, what in the world are you talking about? Are you trying to say that you stole my fiancé?
Yep, I'm being 100% serious right now. You see, the two of us are currently in a hotel together.
What? Now?
Yep, we've been going out for 3 months now. I'm impressed that you didn't notice a thing. It must be because all you think of all the time is that job of yours. Well, that's all I had to tell you. Make sure to cancel the wedding ceremony you had planned for next month, all right? Me and Alberto are going to plan our own wedding of our dreams from scratch.
Is that so? I'm going to ask Alberto himself about this later, but if this is true, you better get ready for what's about to come, because I promise you two aren't going to get off easy.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Tell Mom and Dad? You say that like you're actually a person of importance. But in reality, you're just a slave to the company, right? Anyways, I already am ready if that's what you're worried about. Ready to find happiness with Alberto, that is. You're just a nuisance, Ida, so just give up and step out of our way, all right? Hi, Ida. Did you already ask Alberto about the two of us or something already? You see, he came crying to me, saying how you were so scary when you got mad at him. He said you looked like the devil himself. I made sure myself that he felt better after that, though. In fact, he's currently fast asleep next to me, looking like he doesn't have a care in the world.
Is that so? He's the one who did something to make me look like a devil, so it's his own fault. Besides, probably the only reason he was scared of me is because he felt ashamed about what he had done. I mean, it was only a month until we were supposed to have our wedding ceremony, after all.
Huh? What do you mean he was ashamed? I mean, it's only natural for two people who are in love to go to a hotel together where they won't be disturbed. And I already told you about our relationship, right? What's there to be ashamed of? This is all your fault, and you're just being delusional.
I'm trying to tell you that the two of you are being a bit too shameless about this. Never mind, you'll find out soon enough. I'm talking about canceling the marriage with Alberto, so do whatever you want with him because I don't care anymore.
What? Really? Yes! Now Alberto is all mine. Thanks for stepping out of the way, sister. Finally, you understand that I'm just a better woman than you. Just go back to your work or something so you can forget all about this.
I will, but I'm going to make you two pay me an alimony, all right?
What?
Yes, not just Alberto, but you too.
What? You're going to make me pay one too? What for?
For stealing my fiancé? He wasn't just my boyfriend, Marissa. We were engaged. So that means I have the legal right to ask you two to pay me an alimony. What, did you think that I wouldn't be able to ask you for an alimony because the fiancé you stole was your sister's or something? Too bad, but that's not the case.
You've got to be kidding me, right? But isn't making your own family pay you an alimony a bit too evil?
No, I'm not kidding. And what I'm doing to you is a lot less evil than what you did to me. Seriously, do you not even feel slightly guilty for stealing my fiancé? Oh, and I'll tell you this in advance. It's no use trying to rely on Mom and Dad for help. They're extremely mad about what you did right now. They even said that they regret spoiling you until now, and that they're going to make you leave their house.
What? Why? But I thought that Mom and Dad were my allies. I'm so much cuter than you. Why would they side with you?
There's no way they would side with you when you just stole my fiancé. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to go easy on you just because you don't have any money and don't even have a job. There's nothing stopping you from getting a job if you want to, so you better find one soon. Otherwise, you're going to have to take out a loan to pay my alimony. By the way, nothing about you is cute, Marissa. Only idiotic guys think that.
What did you just say to me? You're just jealous that I was always more popular with guys than you were, aren't you? Also, there's no reason for me to work. I'm not going to become a slave to a company like you.
Yes, there is, actually. I'm going to make you pay at least the average amount. I don't know for sure, but that's at least 20,000 euros.
You're so scary, Ida. Wow, so this is how ugly women behave when they're mad? Looks like you're the one who's an idiot. I don't need to find a job to pay your alimony after all. Too bad for you, I guess.
Yes, I heard that you made Alberto pay for both your alimonies. And I even heard that you moved into Alberto's apartment after Mom and Dad kicked you out.
Yep, the two of us are currently living together.
Jesus, this is proof that you completely don't understand the position you're currently in. I wouldn't be so happy about this situation if I were you.
Are you just being jealous now because he threw you away to be with me instead? Come on, Ida, it's unbefitting of someone so serious as you. Still, it's pretty funny, though I don't mind.
Seriously? Whatever. I don't care anymore what happens to you. To be honest, I'm impressed at how dumb you are and how narrow your view of the world is.
Huh? What in the world even is that? What does my view of the world have anything to do with this?
I mean, you haven't even noticed yet that you're slowly but surely being pushed towards the edge of a cliff?
What? But you're the one who's being pushed towards the edge of a cliff, aren't you? I mean, you're already 30, but you just got your fiancé stolen from you a month before you were supposed to get married? Really, I pity you so much. Good luck on getting married before you're 40, because I heard that you can't have children after that. I don't think that's going to be easy, though, now that you're in your 30s and have already been divorced once. Maybe if you were pretty like me, you would have had a chance.
Yeah, say whatever you want. You're just making a fool of yourself. I decided that I'm not going to tell you what's about to happen.
What are you even talking about? You're the one who looks like a fool, Ida.
I can kind of guess by your personality just what kind of misunderstanding you're currently making, but you'll find out on your own if you just talk to Alberto himself. Please, Marissa, could you at least try to not be so dumb and just talk to Alberto? It's honestly making my head hurt talking to you like this.
You're just crying sour grapes. Besides, if Dad's going to marry Alberto, the next CEO of the company, to one of his daughters, then it should be me and not you, right? I mean, I am younger and more attractive than you.
I see. So that's what you were after. I knew it. You did always talk about how you were going to just marry someone rich when I told you to get a job.
Yes, I want to become a wife of a CEO. You see, whenever I look at you and how you always just work all the time, I think to myself, wow, I hope I never have to become a slave of a company like that. Getting a job is defeat for a woman. So don't you think that becoming a wife of a CEO is the smartest path to take?
Just talk to Alberto for me, will you? You'll understand well then just how idiotic these thoughts of yours are right now.
Yeah, you're just saying that because you're jealous Alberto chose me over you. I don't blame him, though. I'm better than you in every way imaginable, after all. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. You see, the two of us are going to be hosting our wedding ceremony in half a year. I'm going to make you come no matter what. You made me pay an alimony of 20,000 euros, right? Too bad, because now I'm going to make you pay 40,000 euros as a wedding gift.
Jesus, talking to you really is pointless, it looks like. I'm not going to your wedding, and I'm definitely not going to give you any money.
Hi, sister. Do you know what day it is today? Today is me and Alberto's wedding. Today is the day that will symbolize the start of my new life of only happiness with him. At the end of the day, you replied saying that you wouldn't come to all of my invitations, but Mom and Dad are going to come, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Yep, this proves it. They'd rather have a cute daughter like me than a woman like you who's just a slave to her company.
You shouldn't get your hopes up regarding Dad. The only reason he came was to make sure that you wouldn't cause any more trouble than you already have. He's embarrassed just being there, you know. Mom, too. The only reason she came was because she wanted to get a last look at my failure of a daughter before I cut ties with her, she said.
Huh? You're seriously still crying sour grapes? I mean, I'm about to become the CEO's wife, so I think it would be in your best interest not to defy me too much, you know.
It must mean that you still haven't had a proper talk with Alberto if you can still say something like that. Seriously, it's been half a year, Marissa.
We don't need to talk. We can communicate without using words, you know. It's something that only couples that are truly in love can do. But I guess you didn't know that. Ida, half of the seats in the wedding venue are empty. They all canceled at the last minute.
Oh, is that so?
Not only that, but when I told Dad that this behavior was too disrespectful when it's the next CEO and his fiancé that's about to get married, he said that Alberto wasn't going to be the next CEO. What in the world is the meaning of this?
What? You're seriously only asking me that now?
What do you mean I'm only asking you this now? I mean, Dad sent you to marry Alberto in the first place because he was going to be the next CEO, right?
Did Alberto not tell you anything about it?
Huh? But it's so obvious. There was no need to ask him about it. I mean, the only children Dad has is me and you. Which means that he would have to send one of us to go and marry the next CEO of the company, right?
But I'm going to be the next CEO of Dad's company.
What? You're going to be the CEO?
Yes. It's been decided for quite some time now that I was going to be the next CEO. The marriage between me and Alberto was nothing as complicated as an arranged marriage for the company's interest or something. We were just co-employees that fell in love with each other.
What? Then does that mean that Alberto's position in the company is...
He's just a regular employee.
A regular employee?
Well, he used to be the head of the marketing department, but the company found out about how he was cheating on me and going on dates with you and saw that as a problem. And so he was demoted and his salary lowered.
Huh? What's so wrong about going on dates with me?
To put it simply so that even you would understand, he was punished for not coming to work and going on dates with you instead.
What?
Not only that, but apparently he used the company cars on these dates of yours to go to hotels or something. He was barely not fired from the company entirely, but it's true that he was a hair's breadth away from it.
He was almost fired?
Yep, his salary is much lower than it was before, and he's probably not going to be promoted in the future either. Half of this is your fault, and you should realize that.
But... Ida! I asked Alberto to show me his bank account and only €5 were in it! Why is it so little? But I won't be able to buy the newest brand bags with this money!
Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa?
Huh?
First, Alberto paid for both the alimony I asked from you and from him. Next, you moved into his apartment since you were kicked out of our parents' house. Not only that, but you're unemployed and have no intention of getting a job since you believe that working is defeat, yet you love spending money and have zero experience saving any money of your own. He now has to pay for 2 people instead of 1 ever since you started living with him. And his salary is not even a third of what it once was since the company found out about what he was doing. Oh, and that wedding ceremony of yours was pretty expensive as well, right? But you couldn't even gather a considerable amount of money from wedding gifts since most of the people you invited ended up canceling at the last minute. Based on my calculations, you made Alberto use roughly €100,000 in just these 6 months, didn't you?
€100,000?
I heard from Alberto before that he had about €100,000 in savings, but looks like he's spent almost all of that now. Only €5 were left, right?
This can't be happening, but this is completely opposite of what I expected. I thought I would be able to live a fabulous life as the wife of a CEO, never having to work a day in my life. I can't turn back now as well since we already turned in the marriage papers. What should I do about this, Ida?
Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa?
What?
It's clear what you need to do. You need to get a job and work as well. You see, everyone in society has to, in general, work to make a living. You were screwed the moment you started thinking that working is defeat. If only the world worked differently, then maybe you would have gotten what you wanted. So if you don't want to join the dredges of society, because you're going to at this rate, go and get a job.
Why do you have to say things like that to me? You're so mean, Ida.
Not long after that, Alberto voluntarily resigned from his job. It looks like it was too difficult for him working at a place where his former fiancée and now also sister-in-law were going to be the next CEO. Apparently, he brought Marissa with him and moved to his hometown. I heard that he plans on getting a new job at a factory that produces dried foods owned by a relative of his. Marissa, who loved everything about the city and how everything was so busy and shiny, will probably find this new life in the countryside of hers difficult and boring. But since she could no longer rely on our parents, she had no choice but to go with Alberto. But it seems that her mother-in-law was quite the character. Apparently her conditions of letting the 2 of them live in Alberto's parents' house was that they would have to live with Alberto's parents, and she would manage everything related to their finances, including their salaries. My sister left the city shaking from fear, and it looks like this marriage of hers is going to be difficult in a lot of ways.
Hannah, what on earth were you thinking?
Huh? What's up, sis? Is something wrong?
Is something wrong?
Oh, I see. It's your wedding anniversary next month, isn't it? There's a really good cake shop newly put up near the station, so let me give you guys a present next month.
You're always so kind and thoughtful, aren't you? I used to be so proud of you, but now you're just a little backstabber.
Whoa, hold on. Seriously, what's going on? I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're having an affair with my husband, aren't you? Dan finally confessed to me about it.
Huh?
Do you care to explain yourself? Why were the two of you cheating on me?
Oh, I see. Dan told you everything, did he? Well, I guess there's no point in me hiding it anymore. As Dan told you, we're dating.
Wow. I didn't expect you to admit to it so easily.
Why not? I mean, we've already been dating for about 6 months.
I can't believe you would get involved with your own sister's husband like that. Do you have any idea what you've done?
Oh, please don't misunderstand me. I may have chosen to date Dan, but it has nothing to do with him being your husband.
What are you saying?
I'd still be dating Dan regardless of whether he was your husband or not. No matter whose husband he was, I'd take Dan from anyone.
Is this supposed to be you saying how much you like Dan?
Rather than liking him, how about loving him? I don't think there's anyone who's a more perfect match for me.
You can't be serious.
I mean, Dan's just such an amazing person. His yearly income is $140,000 and he works for a top-class trading company. Until recently, I had thought he was just an ordinary office worker. But he really is the person who knows most often says least kind of guy, isn't he?
You've got to be joking.
He has a great job and salary. He's truly a worthy husband for me. He's wasted on such a plain-looking girl like you, sis.
Are you serious? So he's too good for me? But you're perfect for him. Is that it?
Yep, exactly. Dan deserves someone like me as his wife. Don't you think?
No! Are you serious?
After all, I did come first place in a beauty pageant during college. I'm super popular at work, and there's no shortage of guys who want me. Of course, I can do my job too, which makes me smart. Someone as perfect as me is clearly the superior choice.
You would be perfect, if it weren't for your non-existent morals.
Yet even so, Dan says that he loves me. I'm sorry that I have to tell you this, sis, but Dan even told me he was sick of seeing your ugly face.
How dare he?
An ugly, unremarkable girl. Or a beautiful, perfect girl. Anyone would choose me, don't you agree? So cheer up, sis. There's nothing to feel down about.
I thought we were always close, but I guess that's what you've always thought of me.
Anyway, you should divorce Dan as soon as possible so I can marry him.
Hannah has been pushing me to divorce you. She didn't even apologize for what she did. I told you. We're in love with each other. You and I have no choice but to divorce now. But getting divorced right after putting your mother in a nursing home? As your wife, I have supported both you and your mother financially. But I guess that after getting all of that money out of me, I can just be discarded, huh? Oh, come on. Putting her in a nursing home is a complete coincidence. I just happened to run into your beautiful sister once again right after putting my mother in that nursing home. Since then, we've been able to date without any problems. Yeah, what a coincidence. I haven't been able to stop thinking about how beautiful she is ever since you introduced me to Hannah way back when. But I never thought that I would ever get to date her. And the fact that you're willing to let us marry is the best. It seems that whatever I say is pointless. Fine then. If you love each other that much, I'll agree to the divorce. Really? However, I need you to pay me back everything that you owe me. That includes my share of the assets, as well as properly compensating me with a settlement. Oh, come on. That much is to be expected, right? Once you've paid it all back, I'll divorce you right away.
Listen, sis, I already heard from Dan. He said that because you two are still arguing about the settlement, you haven't divorced yet.
Yeah, Dan is hesitant to pay me back. Since you'll need money for your new life together, he says that he can only pay me back $7,000.
Okay, well, how much exactly did you spend supporting him?
$35,000.
$35,000? You're gonna take that much money from Dan? Even when he already spent $14,000 supporting me?
It's bad enough he cheated on me, but within my own family? My emotional pain is just that great.
Here we go. You just want to squeeze as much money out of him as possible, don't you? Especially since Dan earns $140,000 a year.
What are you talking about?
Even though you're already getting more than enough from the assets alone, you want an additional $35,000 in settlement money? I never knew you were so greedy, sis.
This isn't me being greedy, it's just what's fair.
Fine, whatever. $35,000 will be enough for you to divorce Dan then. I'll try to convince him to pay you back. I'll tell him that he doesn't need to worry about the future and to just pay your settlement as soon as possible.
Oh, you'll really help me?
Of course! If I don't, I won't be able to marry him no matter how long I wait.
That's a big help. As long as he agrees to pay back what he owes me, I can even submit the divorce papers today.
A $35,000 settlement is nothing as long as I can marry Dan. I'll be living in his high-rise condo thanks to his yearly salary of $140,000. And even if he has no savings, that's more than enough to live on.
What do you mean? Living in a high-rise condo?
Yep. Once I marry Dan, we're gonna move into your high-rise condo together. Move out as soon as you submit the divorce papers, okay?
Seriously?
I can't wait to live in the top floor of a high-rise condo. I still remember how I felt when I saw it for the first time. It's unforgettable.
Just hold on a minute. I don't recall you ever visiting our house. Are you sure you aren't mistaken?
Oh, you probably don't know. You were sick in bed with a fever that day.
You've got to be kidding me.
Since we had way more Christmas desserts than we needed, so Mom asked me to give you some. But to think that you were living in the top floor of a high-rise condo. I was so surprised.
Ah, I see.
But since you were in bed with a fever, it was Dan who opened the door for me. So invigorating. It was love at first sight.
Hold on a minute. You aren't seriously saying that that's when you two started dating?
I just slipped in quietly and enjoyed some tea together with him. Then, as I was leaving, he confessed how he felt about me.
You've got to be kidding me. While I was in bed sick with a fever. I can't believe you two did that in my home.
Well, that place will be ours soon anyway. Then I shouldn't have to worry about anything.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Dan already told me. He paid you the $35,000 settlement right away, just like I told him to.
Wow, already?
Check your account. It just shows how soon he wants to marry me. He's not interested in you at all anymore.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's more fitting for someone beautiful like me to live with such a high-earning guy in that high-rise condo. Since you're so ugly, a poor guy would be a much better match for you, sis.
His annual salary is actually less than $14,000, though.
What do you mean?
Dan has already transferred the money into my account, hasn't he? Well then, I'll submit the divorce papers right away as promised. Please enjoy your new life with your low-income husband.
Excuse me? What are you talking about? I think you missed a zero by mistake. After all, Dan earns $140,000 a year, not $14,000.
Nope, there's no mistake. Dan's annual salary is $14,000. Well, actually, it's a bit less than that.
You can't be serious. What's all this about him only earning $14,000 all of a sudden? He's a top-class trading company employee. He lives on the top floor of a high-rise condo. There's no way Dan could afford to live there on $14,000 a year.
He's far from being a top-class trading company employee. Dan's just a regular office worker.
There's no way that's true. Dan told me himself. He said that he earns about $14,000 a month. If that's his monthly income, then his annual income should be at least $140,000.
Nope. Like I said, you're mistaken. Did Dan actually say it was his monthly income? He didn't, did he?
Well...
If you don't believe me, why don't you ask him directly?
No, you must be joking. Is this your idea of getting back at me? I mean, Even if he doesn't earn $140,000 a year, Dan's already in his late 30s, right? Worst case scenario, he should be earning at least $70,000 a year, right?
What on earth are you talking about?
I mean, $14,000 a year? There's no way that's true.
The thing is, Dan's mother actually has dementia. For the past few years, Dan's had an extended leave from work in order to care for her. He ended up hurting his back because of it. As a result, his time off work was extended even further.
Seriously?
In any case, he's always at home and hasn't been going to work at all. That's why his salary is so low, despite almost being 40.
But he's been living in the top floor of a high-rise condo. Even if he has low income now, he should be able to earn more than enough if he works really hard.
That condo belongs to his mother.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I eventually had to say something to him since he never went to work. Dan was furious. He flipped out and said if I was so worried about where we were going to live, then we could just go live with his mother. After that, there was really no choice but to move into his mother's high-rise condo.
You've got to be kidding me. So you're saying that that place isn't Dan's? He just lives there with his mom?
Yes, exactly. You came there the day I had a fever, right? Dan's mother finally got accepted into her desired nursing home the day before. I must have been so relieved that I suddenly fell into bed exhausted.
So that's why Dan's mother wasn't there that day.
Now, if you don't mind, please take my low-income husband. I just got to the city hall and I'm about to submit the divorce papers. It probably won't take long for the divorce to be finalized. You can probably marry Dan by the end of the day.
I could ever marry him now? With a salary of only $14,000? Plus, I won't be living on the top floor of a high-rise condo? I'm going to tell him it's over right now.
Oh, really? I don't really care either way. Make sure to have a long talk with each other. Well then, take care.
Hey, Michelle. What did you say to Hannah? Out of nowhere, she's suddenly telling me that we should break up. Even though I paid you the settlement money. And even though you submitted the divorce papers.
All I did was resolve her misunderstanding. Hannah decided to break up with you all on her own.
What are you talking about? What kind of misunderstanding?
It seems that Hannah confused your annual income for your monthly income. So I corrected her.
Wait, what?
She thought that your annual salary was at least $140,000. She couldn't believe that it was only a paltry $14,000. She said that there was no way that she'd marry a guy with that kind of income.
Hey, you must be joking, right? I never once said anything about monthly income. I was open and honest about my situation. I was so happy when I thought she accepted me despite all that.
Then what about the condo? You didn't tell Hannah about that, did you? She seemed certain that it was your place.
Oh, well, about that. She was so in love with the condo that it made it difficult to tell her the truth.
Looks like both you and Hannah are to blame.
I can't believe it. I don't want to break up with her. We're in love with each other. Yet she wants to break up. This can't be happening.
Please leave me out of your lover's quarrel. Well then, bye.
Hey, sis! Sorry for making you worry yesterday. Dan and I made up and now we're married.
Huh? You really got married?
Yep. It was thoughtless of me to dump him like that. Even if Dan's income is low, there's still a huge inheritance waiting for him.
Oh, really? What exactly are you talking about?
Well, Dan's mother. She lived in such an amazing high-rise condo, didn't she? Which means she must have a huge fortune. So it will eventually pass down to her son, aka my husband.
Is that right?
Even if Dan's income is really low, I realize that as long as we have the inheritance, we can live problem-free. That's why we got married just now.
So what you're saying is, you married Dan in order to get his mother's inheritance.
Exactly! I've become the wife of a rich man. Dan's mother is in a nursing home now, which means that she probably won't last much longer. Then that inheritance will be all ours.
How could you say something so vile? Hasn't Dan said anything about this to you?
Not one word. To be honest, he's just so happy that I came back to him.
I can't believe you two.
Since Dan's mother is in a nursing home now, the first thing we need to do is change the name on the deed. Living in my own high-rise condo. My wish has come true. It was totally the right choice to marry him.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that room is a rental. There's no deed for you to get your grubby little hands on. So write that out of your inheritance plans.
Excuse me? It's a rental?
Yep, that's right. Dan's mother has gone senile. That's why she rented a room in the top floor of the condo all by herself.
Huh?
Dan's mother has dementia. I told you, remember? While she was still living by herself, she used up almost all of her savings to rent that condo.
She used up her savings?
She paid for a whole year's worth of rent in advance. It seems like the realtor leased out the condo to her special. Once I realized, I tried to cancel the rental agreement. However, by then everything had already been finalized, so there was no way to get the money back.
Just give me a minute. There's just no way. So, Dan's mother doesn't own that condo? Dan never once said anything about it being a rental.
Maybe he couldn't bring himself to say it. Or maybe he never planned on saying anything at all. Curious, isn't it?
Wait. Then what about the huge fortune? Where's the inheritance that Dan's supposed to get?
I mean, she did spend almost all of her savings on that condo. And as for her remaining savings and pension money, it's going to be used up paying for her caregiving. I do believe that the inheritance you were hoping for might not exist.
No way! You're lying!
Why on earth would I lie about that? Ask Dan if you don't believe me.
I'm already asking him as we speak! This can't be real. It just can't! He said that he thought if he told me that the room wasn't really his, I would never have gotten back together with him. And that's why he couldn't tell me it was really a rental.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, duh!
It seems like he was desperate to keep you from leaving.
This can't be happening. I thought I'd be living in a high-rise condo. That's why I married him. I even boasted to my friends that I married a rich man. But all along it was only a rental!
Just so you know, I think there's about 2 months left on the condo. Looks like you'll have to find another place in the next 3 months.
Are you serious? Only 2 months in my dream condo?
Make sure to enjoy your high-rise life as much as possible in the next 2 months. Well then, I wish you both a happy life. My younger sister Hannah soon told Dan that she wanted a divorce and she was going to threaten him for marrying her under false pretenses. She was really trying to force him to do it. But Dan argued that he never actually lied to her, he just didn't correct her assumptions. He kept dodging her questions, but eventually he admitted that there was no way that he'd accept a divorce. Dan promised he would work really hard to afford the apartment and that as long as he did that, she should have no reason to complain. He seems to actually be working really hard, but because of all the time off he's had, he hasn't been able to do his job well. There's a rumor that he's already on the short list of people the company might need to lay off. As for Hannah, since she already boasted about being the wife of a wealthy man, it seems that she's putting on airs so that the people around her don't find out the truth.